Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we will be analyzing the game that made me cross 2100 FIDE once again. So, we will be starting. So I thought that I would play against someone very strong since I'm playing for Vassability in Luxembourg, and now I'm playing against Differdange, which is one of the strongest team in Luxembourg. They have very strong FIDE masters and 22 plus rated players in general. Uh, and yeah, and I thought that I would be playing against someone around 1900, 2000 to very cleanly reach 2100. But sadly, I played against 17 something FIDE, which means that I was 2 points away after the win of this game. Maybe I lost, maybe I draw, since I'm so disappointed, so maybe I did something else in losing. But basically, what happened is that I thought that I would be playing for 2100, and actually, even with the win, I wouldn't have crossed 2100. Luckily, I played a tournament in Italy, this last weekend, and I missed the first round due to traffic. Then I missed the second round. I'm sorry. Then I missed the fifth round due to traffic, and this is very bad. So basically, out of 5 rounds, I played only three. The games are coming, in the upcoming days. But now let's just see the game that might be helping me reaching 2100 FIDE. So I played e4. My opponent played e5. And in this game, oops, I'm sorry. And in this game, I felt a little bit strange, let's put it that way, because I didn't know what my opponent rating was. Yeah, and I was still practicing e4 because I'm an e4 player, but only in online, not in classical. So I'm still practicing. I'm still making some practical mistakes, some strategically inaccurate choices, and I'm still not recognizing certain patterns. So I played knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, the Italian, bishop c5, d3. So I'm very playing it, in a very slowly pace. Maybe I might even be going knight c3 since I'm not playing pawn to c3. So knight f6, castles, d6. Now, sadly, I don't have the game anymore, but I know a game by heart, which I already showed on this channel when I was analyzing my game against Noam Patol at the Mulhouse Championship, or, beginning of the year tournament, um, which went, I think, bishop to g5 and such. In the game I played, I think, bishop g5. Um, Maybe I even started with knight c3, but I'm not sure anymore, and I lost the paper, so I either started that way or that way. Both moves are basically equal. It's just that here I'm allowing this thing with g5, which isn't that much of a problem. It's just that the thing is I have to know this line with takes, knight h7, takes, bishop g4, and the game is super sharp. It's just that here against h4, I think I start with b4, or I go knight b7 captures, and I think now I go b4. I don't remember, but I just know that I can lose immediately. So I think I started with knight c3. I'm pretty sure that I started with knight c3. Anyway, I just keep going. Castles, knight c3, through transposition. All right, h6, bishop h4, and now my opponent played bishop to g4. Now, I don't know how to play this position, to be honest with you. I know that I can play something which, I know we're playing with 92, knight g3, but I also know that this bishop might be trapped if I plant my knight on g3. So I decided to play h3 and see how my opponent will react in this position. Now, he played bishop f3. I can't tell you what I will be playing against this move. I was maybe more likely going to go knight e5, but who knows? Maybe I wouldn't. I still don't know what I would have played. Um, I mean, sorry. I know what I would have played. It's just that in this position, I'm already just not a fan of my position. This as simple as that. I was pretty sure to go that, but in the game I wasn't. If I go knight g5, the problem is still g5. But even there, I felt a little bit fine after g4. And basically, I just know out of practice that okay, now taking maybe isn't good, but I can sacrifice the pawn because technically I'm not really sacrificing the pawn. It's a long story, but I do have some breakthroughs in the center. So those are basically things that I calculated. And if he goes knight takes, and I just capture this type of thing. But it's okay. Anyway, I took back, knight d4, queen d1. I'm defending the pawn after he attacked my queen. He played c6, trying to play d5. Now I'm not proud of myself. Actually, I wasn't proud of this game at all. You know, I simply wasn't sure about anything. Maybe the pressure of reaching 2100 again in live rating. And I calculated knight a4, b5, and if I capture, he captures, I go that way. And I still wasn't sure about that. And and this is very strange because now that I'm looking at this position, it's clear that I'm just the king of the jungle here. And if queen a5, I go b3, this type of thing. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, this everything's lacking. Something like that. If queen a5, I can go b3. So everything here was pretty clear to me. I'm sorry, clear when I calculated, but I couldn't make a decision. And I ended up playing a very bad move. I played knight e2. At first, I thought, mm, yeah, that I blundered something because I thought d5 was playable. I forgot to calculate d5. Now, lucky me, after I played knight e2, I realized that, wait, but I can just take on d4. So first of all, what is the problem? The problem is that if I take, and go bishop f6, thinking that if queen takes, I can just capture the pawn, and there is g takes f6, and what I failed to recognize, so first of all, the line that I saw was captures. If you take here, then knight f5, it's simply mate, it's just winning. So you capture on d4 with the bishop, and then I failed to recognize that I can go bishop b3, and if you capture the pawn, let's say rook b1, bishop there, I failed to recognize there is queen g4, king somewhere, and queen f3, and I'm winning the pawn back. I didn't see that before knight e2. I played knight e2, I realized, wait, I'm blundering d5, and then I calculated that, and I realized that. So this is good, but what I failed to realize is that if I go takes, this, yeah, knight d4, pawn takes, bishop b3. Here I failed to recognize that he can just go something like queen to d6, and even if I play the same check or queen f3 first, I mean, I don't have to go queen g4, just that. He can just defend. And okay, c3 that, and just that. The problem is that I just haven't calculated any of that before playing knight e2. So technically, if something really bad would happen after knight e2, then I would be pretty happy to see that before playing knight e2. If it's a blunder, then you better see that before playing it, right? Um, yeah, it's just dumb. It's just very bad. Then I realized that. Then of course, I was praying that he plays, that he plays d5. But okay, he played b5 to grab space on the queen side. I played bishop b3. He went queen e7, and here I made a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Okay, so somehow I can't tell how. In this position, this is ridiculous, but I just realized that wait, if I play something. Knight g3, then g5, and I lose the bishop, right? Right? Somehow, this is just very bad. This is like 1400 level. I was scared of d5, and something happens around here because I can never capture there is g5. So, I take, and whatever happens, and I don't know why or how, but I was imagining myself that I'm losing after d5, and I took on f6 instantly, which is ah, I don't understand why I'm recording that. I'm just showing you that I played a very bad game, and I guess it's part of, it's part of the content that I'm making. I have to show you what is the reality when you're playing chess. When you're playing chess, you're not always playing like a good player. Sometimes you're, reaching second place at a tournament, then the very next game against a 1700. Because I found out after the game, no matter the result, actually, I found out after the game he's 17 something FIDE. During the game, I didn't think that. I was just so pissed off after the game, but it's okay. Knight f6, knight g3, queen g5. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I thought d5 was playable, but the queen is on e7. I don't want to say that I was traveling and I was tired, even though it's true, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, and here I played knight g3. And by the way, here the engine says that I can take huge advantage if I go c3, then a4, and I just very slowly improve my position. Typical moves, queen e2, I don't know, rook d1, sorry, rook e1, rook c1, those type of thing. What else? At some point I might be playing d4, maybe, who knows? Something in a way. Maybe queen d2 bad. Who knows? I just know that something, something might be playable, but I can't tell what is playable. So it's a very bad game, but it's okay. Knight g3, queen g5, and here I started to gain consciousness again. And after queen g5, once I realized, okay, because I saw queen g5 and I knew that, of course, there is a threat of this there over here. I found a very good sequence, and from now on, the game is perfect according to the engine. So this is pretty good. And also, I could just feel like when I was staring at the board that everything was fine. I could calculate very smoothly. I could see everything. And now, from now on, the game is really perfect. King h2. So I'm getting out of troubles. Uh, my opponent went queen f4, and what I saw, and I played that instantly after queen f4, I have king to f1. Why didn't I play king h1 straight away? The reason is very, very, very funny. I just thought that one day, if I want to push g3 or g4 or g3 f4, this pawn needs to be protected, right? Now, with the king on h2, it's playable. And I don't know how I found that, but I just know I did that. Queen f4, now there is a trick. If I go c3, trying to attack the knight, he captures, I capture, and bishop f2. And I can't capture because otherwise I would be losing exchange. I calculated that, but the queen isn't trapped. There's always a way out. And second line is that if I move away with my king, he captures back with the queen, and otherwise, if I go queen c2 trying to attack the bishop, he goes bishop g3, check. So I just saw before playing king h2 that after queen f1 I have king h1. And now there is a trick. If he captures, which happened in the game, and now bishop f2, I can go knight to f5. And what is knight f5 doing? Now I'm threatening queen to e2, which wins the bishop since the bishop is pinned. And if g6, I do not go knight there because queen f6. And now if I move the knight away, queen e7, and he's getting away with the pin while attacking the knight. So I will have to go knight e7, checking g7, and I captured it right there. And now I am the king of the jungle once again. Knight b4, knight d5 might be a threat. You know, if rook c8, then rook c8 somewhere, I can just go knight back. Everything's all right. And I will be threatening queen to e2. So after all of that, takes knight f5, he has no way out. He's just losing a piece, and that's simply it. It's completely lost. So he decided to go g6 first. You know, controlling the f5 square. He's not threatening to capture anything because he will still be auto-pinning himself. Maybe now it's fine since the knight is also hanging, but it's not. It just okay. Maybe it's playable. Anyway, I go knight e2. Why knight to e2? So now, for those of you who are taking lessons with me, because I know that a couple of you are a couple of my students are watching my videos just for the entertainment or whatever. Love you guys. Anyway, I very, very often talk about attacking on the king side. When you're attacking on the king side, attacking is just a fancy word to say that you are opening up the position, bringing all your pieces on the king side, and then smashing your opponent's face, right? Now, how do you do it in practice? In practice, to open the lines up, you have to trade off some pawns. Very clear thing. No more pawns on the side of the board means that the lines are open, so you can eventually start doing stuff around there. The dream would be to have a wide open position while also having some weak spots, some pawns over here, over there that are fixed, and you just start attacking them. This is also a goal. So, in this position, once he captured, played g6, I saw that I can play knight to e2, which is attacking the queen. The queen has to move back. He played queen to f6. And now I can open up the king side. All those pawns are very weak. This is what I thought in the game. Those pawns are weak. They're no longer defended. If I just start open lines up on the king side, the game is just over. So I played f4. And now, after he captures, I could have, captured back on f4 with whatever, but, knight takes or rook takes. But the problem is that the b2 pawn is hanging, and I just wasn't sure about that. So my idea was to play d4 as an in-between move. Now attacking the bishop has to move back. Notice that even though it's a bishop against a knight, I do not really care. The game isn't on the queen side while having a bishop on the king side. No, the bishop is now locked. Sure, this pawn isn't protected by a pawn yet, but it's still a locked bishop. And this knight will be pretty active. So I play rook f4, defended by the rook, queen to e7, and now I just started, now that I have some open lines on the king side, I'm just bringing pieces on the king side. Knight to g3. Now the goal is very simple. I want to bring my queen into the game, bring the other rook, and eventually find a way to open even more lines. For example, h4, h5, or e5. Who knows? I don't. Queen g5, so I played rook to g4. I'm just defending both my rook and my knight. Queen to f6, attacking the pawn on d4, so I just defended it. And sure, maybe this position is still equal according to the engine, but who cares? Because I have a very simple plan. Queen d3 or queen e2, whatever, and rook f1. My opponent went king to h7. All right, queen d3, I'm just keep going with my plan. Notice that the queen is also lined up with the king. I'm preparing rook to f1, and from now on the game is just fine. The engine still says it's equal, but it's hard to play. here he should have played something like rook a e8. Maybe I would have played rook to f1 right now. If he goes queen to e7, maybe now I have some e5. I wasn't sure yet if I had some e5, but eventually some h4. This is really the main plan. I really want to open lines up. Once lines are opened, I win the game very smoothly. Anyway, he played h5, which just loses instantly. It loses instantly because I can capture on h5, and if pawn takes and I have e5 check, which wins the queen, since the pawn is attacking the queen. If queen g6, I captured with the rook, and now I'm just up a lot of material. I'm also up a pawn, so it's winning. I don't have to capture it, but anyway. So he played queen to e7, and now I could have gone back with the knight to g3 or whatever, but no, I calculated and I saw that I can play rook to f1. Now, what is the idea? If he captures, then what happened in the game would just happen because he captured. Oops, yeah, I'm very sorry. I disconnected the camera. Hopefully everything is fine. Yay, the camera disconnected. Anyway, this is now, focus on myself. The camera will be back in a second. Anyway, when you are attacking someone, it's not because you're winning a pawn that you should be slowing down in your attack. Just keep attacking. There's nothing rooting against you. Just keep attacking. Yeah, the camera is back. Yeah, just keep fighting. All right. If he goes like that, then I just capture. I'm sorry, then I can just go knight f6. And if f6 instead, I'm asking myself the question: can I play e5? Maybe I can play e5 here. If f5, then what happened in the game happens again. I think I can even play knight f6. Hmm. Yeah, this is winning for sure. Oh wait, actually I can take and mate says the end. Oh wait, I think this is mate. Yeah, this is mate. Where? Hopefully it's correct. Let me just see what the engine says. I don't know. Everything is lagging. Every time I turn the engine on, the computer is lagging. Okay. Yeah, this is correct. Yeah. Yeah, rook g6 is mate. Yay, you capture, and e6. Where? Anyway, I played rook f1, he captured on h5, and now it's just e5. Even more lines are opened. King h8, and now blunder. I played rook to f6. It's a blunder because rook f5 was mate instantly. But I was just staring at rook f6. It's also winning, just that it's taking 4 moves because now I'm threatening mate. If he captures here, it's check this and mate. So he has to capture first on f6. I'm sorry, capture on f6 first, capture on g4, and now sure I have a queen against 3 pieces, but I go queen to f5 and it's mate because if rook e8, then I have checkmate. So check, mate. If he goes rook to d8, I don't go queen h5, I go queen g5, and I'm threatening mate. Because now if I give a couple of checks, then maybe it's still winning. It surely is, but I don't want to play this position. I don't care about this position at all. I just go queen to g5, and it's simply mate. Yeah, and in the game, he just resigned after rook f5. By the way, there is no king h7. And I didn't play queen g3, but this is also winning, I think. Yeah, rook g8 mate. And otherwise, I'm just playing queen g7. Yeah, but queen f5 is the cleanest. All right, let's just check what the engine says. I will just delete those moves because we don't need those moves. We don't need queen g3. All right. We will now see what the engine says. Normally, this whole game is a mess. I will tell you in a split of seconds. Speed of second, I'm very sorry. Bad English today. Yeah, 95.4. Now, my opponent, and I have 2 brilliant moves. The first one of them is knight h5, but this was simple. Rook f1 is a real brilliant move. And now it's just a clean game. And yeah, the game was pretty clean. Here in the opening, I did a small mistake. Bishop f6 was fine, but it was really capturing and then going d4. Yeah, and here he's just fine. Yeah, but it's okay. Now the game was pretty clean. Sure, the engine. I mean, I already analyzed with the strong stockfish. The game was nice. The real mistake was just bishop f6, but it's okay. All right, now what else can I add to all of it? I think there is nothing more I can really say about this game. This game was very interesting. Now, a small problem. My opponent was rated 1730, so I am 2 rating points away of reaching because with this game, because I won 18.4 in Mulhouse, which means that now officially my rating is 2094. But if I because with the game that I just won, I won actually 2.4 rating points, which means that 18 plus I'm sorry, 18 plus 4 plus 2.4 means that I will have 0.8, which means 1 more rating. So 19. so 2095, plus 2, so 2097, and not 2098. Sorry about that. So I would have reached 2097. Yeah. And now this is funny. So technically, those 2.4 rating points will arrive on the next month. So now, live rating, I was 2096. Then I went to Italia and I played against a 1800 something, almost 1900, and I won those 4 rating points. So in the very next game that I will be showing you on the YouTube channel, I will be 2100. The problem is that I played 2 games after the game that I won to reach 2100, and those 2 games are pretty crazy. But I have a lot of stories to tell about my tournaments. About every single tournament that I ever played in Italia. I played so many tournaments there, and every time I was playing there, it was just a nightmare. It's like playing a chess tournament in Paris. I played I think 2 tournaments in Paris, or it is region of France, which is like really the middle of France. A nightmare every time. 2 tournaments, 2 nightmares. A real mess. All right. Thank you then. See you in the future. Subscribe to the channel. By the way, you have my Instagram on the screen. If you're, by the way, a chess trainer and you want to upload your own chess books, but you don't know how to do it, you can just contact me. Contact my company case by case. I'm publishing chess books. I never really talked about that in an upload. I will be talking it. Yeah, sorry. I will be talking about it in a very very soon. I'm just helping individual trainers and individual author to publish their chess books and their books about methodology, learning chess and stuff. So let me know. See you in the future. Take care.